Welcome to Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. I am Kyle Anthony, and welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the prediction show for UFC on ESPN Plus 19. Jack Hermansson versus Marvin Vettori. We're going to talk about two free plays that we have on this card coming off a losing night last weekend. Now, I had a top play, and I am almost sad to even discuss it here. But, of course, we got to talk about the winners just as much as we talk about the losers, although it's been an extremely profitable year this year. 64% return on investment for clients on client plays at WagerTalk. But this was not one of them, and we had Ashley Evans Smith, and I just want to say, I am sorry. Horrible, showing from her overall. I know that we were, a lot of people were DMing me talking about, she was hurt, or there were rumors that she was hurt, prior to the fight, that she talked about after the fight. That doesn't really make me feel good at any capacity at all, because when we're betting and when we're looking at any play, it doesn't matter if she went out there and she got knocked out in the first round or had a very close split decision and she lost, or we felt like she won the split decision, or whatever it may be. A loss is a loss, and we have to go out there and look to the next event. Now, I always talk about that even when we win. I even talk about, hey, we had a 3-1 night. We gotta focus on the next event, because that's the great thing about MMA. There were so many events, so many opportunities to make money. So this was a spot here. Ashley Evans Smith really did nothing. I mean, even her strikes, if she, like the fake kick that she did, if she did that one more time, I was going to go crazy. She kind of stood up, put her knee up like she was going to kick, didn't. Almost the striking that she was doing was, like a Tai Bo, some kind of aerobics class kind of thing going. It just was really bad overall. She was getting muscled around for most of this fight. A loser overall, but again, we got to look out to this next event coming up. Now we have another one here. I've got 3 client plays up for purchase if you're interested. If not, we're going to talk about 2 free plays here on the card. Now, the first one we're talking about here is, of course, the main event of the evening between Jack Hermansson versus Marvin Vettori. You've got Vettori, who is a favorite at -142. You've got Hermansson coming back around the +120, +116 mark, somewhere around there. Now, this is a very interesting fight here. Now, I'm hearing a lot of different things from people going back and forth, who they like, who they don't like, styles, how this match is really going to be working out here. Now, I'm first going to talk about Marvin Vettori. Now, Vettori right now, you've got, again, -142. 3 fights ago, he fought Cesar Forjeda. And this was a fight here where I thought Vettori looked fantastic. This was a spot where, it was a very close fight as going into it with the betting line. And he went up there and got the job done. In that first round, I feel like, he kind of was, Vettori, who is known as really that aggressive move forward, looking to throw big shots, not scared to really get in there and mix it up. And he goes in there early in that fight, was patient, kind of looking for shots, still kind of dictating the pace, kind of getting in Cesar's face a little bit. And into that end of that round, he got the takedown, landed some strong ground and pound, and ended up landing a good shot, opening him up on the ground and pound, really hurt him. Going into that second round, more of the same for Vettori. Really impressive the way that he moved forward, got multiple takedowns, hard ground and pound, he consistently does. And that's the thing with Vettori. He definitely has that aggressive style, that brawler mentality. Sometimes comes in a little bit wild, but he's a strong guy. He likes to mix it up. He's willing to take a shot, to give you a shot back. And in this spot here, he really dominated. It was a unanimous decision victory for him overall. And again, the pressure is something that you're gonna see. That's what he does. He likes to be the bully. And that's a spot here that, again, it worked for him, and he goes out there and gets decision victory over Forjeda. 2 fights ago, he fought Andrew Sanchez. Now, I'm not big on Andrew Sanchez to begin with. You had Vettori, who was a -420 favorite going into this, so a massive favorite going into this, but he did what he was supposed to do. Vettori goes in there, gets the job done, beats him up. Vettori almost finished him early in that first round. He kept putting the beats on him, throughout that fight. It's not much to really break down in this fight, just because of the simple fact that it was really Vettori overall, and Sanchez, the skill set isn't there. I don't really see much in him overall long term. Landed big shots, dominated performance for Vettori. He goes out there and gets another unanimous decision victory. Then most recently he fought Karl Roberson, and this is an interesting fight here because there was obviously, the fallout of the prior fight, and they were trying to get this fight going. It was a situation that, both these guys didn't like each other. There was issues that were going on in the hotel lobby, and, Vettori was really looking to, ready to scrap in the middle of the lobby. Really a lot of build up to this, and Roberson, he's known for the kickboxing. He's got that kickboxing, he's got strong kicks, big legs, can really put a lot of power behind those shots. And this was spot here early in the fight. Vettori, obviously, he knows that the stand-up game is going to be a little more difficult for him. He has the credentials to stand there, but that is the sweet spot for Karl. And he goes up there and he looks for the quick takedown. And there was a lot of scrambling, and I give Roberson a little bit more credit than he did in this spot, because he basically was transitioning, moving in good spots, a lot of rolling around, a lot of scrambling. And the one thing that I think is the takeaway from this is that, Roberson is not good on the ground. Not at all. And there isn't anything, I know he's building up his career, and I know that he's starting to kind of put together the MMA part where he comes from, the kickboxing background. But he was really able to scramble out of some really good positions that Vettori was in. Vettori's in some really strong positions, had his back, he rolled out of it. Then again, a good scenario where he had him in a good spot. Roberson rolls out of it again. Vettori kept going with it. But there was a lot of scrambling, a lot of sloppy grappling on the ground from Vettori, who definitely is a well-rounded guy, has a wrestling background. Couldn't keep him there, but finally ended up latching on, sinking in with some hard ground and pound just before it, which really kind of slowed down Roberson in that spot. Finally got him up against the cage, ended up sinking in a rear naked choke to get the victory and a submission victory in that first round. Now, on the other side, you've got Jack Hermansson. Jack Hermansson, again, is minus 116, roughly. And 3 fights ago, he fought Jacare Souza, and this was an interesting fight. It was a 5-round fight, a very close fight. This is one of those situations where you got two guys who have the grappling credentials, who, BJJ, and you've got, all these things that go into the ground game. And in this fight, you definitely saw that really was nullified. You got two guys that have the ability, that can't, or maybe just can't find the entry point, or maybe looking at it as they can't, it kind of almost nullifies each other, and they just can't get it to the ground. And this was a spot here where, Jack came out aggressive, mixing it up. He looked pretty good on the feet in certain spots. It's not that, Jacare is this great striker by any means, but I thought Hermansson looked good. It was a very close fight. It was more of a stand-up fight where I don't see that happening in this situation here on Saturday night between Hermansson and Marvin. I don't really see that being that way. But close fight, you do give it to Hermansson. He goes out there and gets decision victory. But middle of that fight is kind of where Jacare started to really pick it up a little bit and really started landing some shots where I think that Hermansson really was looking to push early on, couldn't do it, but kept the nice volume late into that fight and got the decision victory. So he goes in there and gets the win. 2 fights ago, Hermansson fought Jared Cannonier, and this was a fight here that really, kind of opened my eyes. Although I did bet Cannonier in this spot where he was a sizable underdog. But this was a just great performance for Cannonier overall, because the way that he was able to get out of those takedown attempts was impressive. Now, Hermansson, he likes to come out lunging right away. He likes to come out aggressive, level change, and really kind of just bring it to his world right away. And right away, you did see that he looked to do that. Cut the distance, put the pressure on Cannonier. Cannonier was almost kind of just, trying to, I guess, get comfortable as the fight starts, and right away Hermansson cuts the distance, and he, there was 3 straight takedowns that were attempted in that first round from Jack Hermansson. He went in for the first takedown, quickly Cannonier was able to push it off, got the strength, pushed it off. Second takedown, he ended up getting him down, but quickly again a scramble, Cannonier gets up, and the third attempt was a great position where Hermansson had his back, very good spot, probably one of the worst spots you can be when you're fighting Hermansson, and again, the power, the strength of Cannonier gets up, gets out of position, and I think that was a big, big spot where Hermansson was maybe frustrated and just, maybe his broke, where he says, I can't get this guy down, I can't keep him down, and then, Cannonier had some success striking into that first round. Going into that second round was the same thing. Hermansson looked to level change, and Cannonier landed a big shot, hurt him, went up against the cage, ground and pound from Cannonier. Cannonier gets the job done in that second round. But I thought it was very impressive. And again, Cannonier is a strong guy. We all know he comes from heavyweight. He came down, all these things, you know. But man, he ended up getting out of those tough spots from Hermansson, who once he gets a hold of you, very good. That's his world. Cannonier gets the victory over Jack Hermansson. And then, most recently, he fought Kelvin Gastelum. And this was a fight, again, I did have Hermansson here. And the big reason, again, is just that the takedown ability of him is just really impressive. And when you look at Kelvin Gastelum, you know, he's a shorter guy, you know, has the power, but is just a smaller guy. But the impressive part here was, of course, Hermansson looking to cut the distance into this first round, looking to cut the distance, looking to cut it. And, you know, when he gets into that grappling exchange, he looked to actually throw, you know, it was kind of a hip toss of some sort that Hermansson was looking to do. And the fact that Gastelum was able to reverse it and get on top, very impressive. I think Hermansson was not at all prepared for that. Kelvin was on top, and I thought that was a very interesting situation where Kelvin looked really disengaged at first. He kind of stayed on top, wanted to maybe land a couple shots, but then as he was trying to get out of it, Hermansson saying, stay where you are, because this is where I want. I don't care if I'm on back or if I'm on top. I want to be able to be in a clinching exchange, a grappling exchange, be on the ground, and utilize my great grappling skills. He went out there, ends up, you know, Gastelum kind of landing a couple shots, trying to get out of it, and that was the spot where he ends up getting a heel hook, subbed him in that first round. Hermansson goes out there and gets the victory in that first round. Now, with that all being said, you know, the big thing here is obviously you've got Vettori, who's got some good kickboxing. You know, he's got some good striking. He's powerful. You know, he has a lot of pressure. And that's the thing. Vettori has a lot of pressure when he moves forward. Heavy hands, always look for the big shot, always look to strike, always look to throw those big bombs. And then the other side, you've got Hermansson. We got Hermansson. He's got fantastic ground game. We just talked about that. And he's relentless with the takedowns. And he has shown the fact that he has the cardio output to keep pushing forward, to keep going, and to look to do it until he gets what he wants and getting that takedown. And even against, when you saw up against Cannonier, a strong guy, much bigger, you know, for the division overall, and you know, he was relentless with it. He didn't win that fight, but it just shows what he's able to do and how he's able to do it. And again, Cannonier has great, you know, again, a big guy, very different. Now, the big thing I think that really kind of pulled me the other way here is the fact that, you know, when you look at Karl Roberson in that fight, Vettori fought great. You know, he fought great, got that early submission victory, but he has not really had to face somebody who's going to be relentlessly going for those takedowns. And when he was in those grappling exchanges with Roberson, who again has really no credentials on the ground, you know, not that he was able to get out of it, but there were some spots where Roberson was in a pretty good spot, you know, reversing, and you know, again, Vettori is going to have the advantage on the ground and was able to, you know, reverse it back. But in those situations, if they're grappling and they're scrambling on the ground, there are situations where that's going to favor Hermansson. And I think in this spot here, I think Hermansson has a lot of things that he can utilize. Now, he's not going to stand there and strike. He's not going to stand there and do it. This is going to be a smaller cage again, which I think favors in this situation. Sometimes I say it favors the striker, depending on the matchup, depending on the stylistic matchup there. Somebody's going to favor the grappler. You know, with smaller cage, it's going to force certain things. And in this spot here, I think it favors Hermansson. And I think some of the other big things is that, Vettori, not only that he throws those big shots, he's always looking for the big shots, but that's a spot that I think tires him out, also leaves him susceptible for the counter and for the level changing. Also the fact that Vettori does not check leg kicks, and you've seen what he's done overall. Hermansson likes to throw them, likes to kind of throw them in the middle, kind of mix it up, and then hide that behind a takedown. I think that's something that he can take advantage of. Also the forward pressure of Vettori. Now, Vettori likes to get close. He's going to have the shorter reach advantage. I think that, if I remember correctly, it was Hermansson has about a 3 or 4 inch reach advantage on him. Nice reach advantage. So Vettori's going to need to be close. And I think that fits into the grappling and what Hermansson wants. Now, you don't have a guy like Vettori who's going to bounce outside, throw a couple strikes, be elusive, stay on the outside, keep good footwork. That's not what Vettori does. Vettori likes to be in the pocket. He wants to exchange. And there's going to be spots there where, yeah, Vettori can land a big one and hurt you. But at any point when Hermansson's level changing, I think that that's going to be the spot where that forward pressure is going to be very difficult for Vettori. I'm sorry, well, actually, Vettori's going to want to do the forward pressure, but that Hermansson it's going to really fall right into what he wants, which is that close grappling exchanges, close distance. He's going to have the reach advantage. He's going to be able to get his hands on him, smaller cage. And again, Vettori is a bruiser, and he's the kind of guy that wants to bully. He wants to push forward. And a guy like that who's a bully, not that I'm saying that Vettori is not technically sound by any means, but he's the kind of guy that's kind of wild. You know, he kind of goes out there and kind of, you know, he's always flailing the big shots, and certain guys he's able to capitalize on. Certain guys that don't have, you know, the ability to throw in that level changing. Now, Hermansson does not have great striking. There's definitely no doubt about that. But I think he can at least hold his own enough, popping out the jab, throwing some leg kicks, and then mixing in some takedowns to really kind of, you know, work his way to slowing down his opponent. And then as well as just positioning, winning around, you know, if it's going to go deeper to the fight, winning around, winning by positioning, winning by top control. I think that Hermansson's going to have a great spot here. He's going to be able to push forward. And I think also the fact that, you know, again, Vettori is going to look to push forward as well, going right into the wheels of Hermansson. So for me here in the main event, as my free play, I do like Jack Hermansson plus 116. I think it's a good price there. Now, I do hear a lot of people like Vettori. I can't blame you, but I think in this spot here, I'm taking the money here, the plus money here. I think he gets out there and gets the job done. Now, the other one we're going to talk about real quickly, because this is more value play here, and I think the line's off, and I thought I would just share it. I was going to maybe give a prop on the main event, so maybe I'll even, you know, tweet that out. You can follow me at Kyle Anthony UFC. But I was going to maybe talk about that. But the one I really want to talk about here was one that I think is way off. You've got Movsar, Evloev versus Nate Landwehr. Now you've got Evloev is a minus 500. He's an undefeated fighter. And then you've got Nate Landwehr, who is plus 360. Gonna just give basically a couple tidbits and then give my pick here. And obviously I'm not gonna be taking Evloev. I wouldn't be talking about this if that was the case. But here in this spot, I think this line is way off. I think this is way too wide for this type of fight and just where these guys are and the scrappiness that you have of Landwehr. I mean, Landwehr, you know, he's coming off a nice win where he went out there and he beat Darren Elkin. Now, the big thing here in that fight that I liked about it was that Elkin got him down, I think, one time, kept pushing for it. Landwehr's scrappy. He's able to fend off those takedowns. And the big thing also was the past people who Landwehr has fought. He comes from N1. He definitely has fought a lot of Sambo fighters where they're going to grind it out, get close to you, pick you up, take you down, you know, and Landwehr is able to always get out of those situations. He's scrappy. His scrambling ability is fantastic. He's tough. Also, he's able to come forward and land strikes. Now, he is not this is not another guy who's this technically sound striker, but he is almost at a point where, you know, he's able, same thing where, you know, he's kill or be killed kind of a forward pressure where he's going to look to just let's go, let's stand, let's bang. And you got the other side, you got Evloev, who is definitely looking for the takedown, has the ability to do that, has some power, you know, overall well-rounded kind of guy. But if he can't get this to the ground, which I think fits into where Landwehr is able to do, is able to fend off those takedown attempts, I think that, you know, he's able to go in there, and I think he's going to be able to get the job done. Now, again, I think the line here is off. I think the value is absolutely on Landwehr. This should be much closer than it is. You've got, you know, the undefeated guy. Money's coming in on him because the undefeated guy. But Landwehr, again, it's not a pretty bet by any means, but it's worth something, a sprinkle on, a little bit of something on, because I just think at plus 360, this fight will definitely be, in my opinion, much closer than this line indicates. You know, and just overall, what Evloev showed against Grundy in the last fight, to me, was not that great. I mean, he definitely got the win, but there were spots where he had to stand and strike, couldn't get the takedown. Now, if that happens, I think Landwehr's wild striking could be a problem. And again, the gas tank, too, of Evloev, is it there? Can he keep pushing and pushing and fighting those takedowns and not getting the takedown and then keep going? Those are the things that are going to be the situation where it's going to be very difficult for a guy like Evloev to keep pushing the pace there. Now, do I think he can win? Of course he can. He's a minus 500, but there is absolutely no way, regardless if Evloev goes out there and gets his victory, that it's worth the minus 500 by any means. So I'm taking Landwehr as a value play, a little sprinkle on him, plus 360. Now, I will be putting some other plays up on YouTube. I'm sorry, not YouTube. Up on Twitter. So check it out at Kyle Anthony UFC. I will definitely be posting up some other plays and everything else there. And I always appreciate everybody that, you know, again, the support has been great. Everybody has been fantastic. Appreciate everybody giving the thumbs up, subscribing, liking, following, all those great things. And that's the show. I appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up. And this is Kyle Anthony's UFC Betting Show. And I'll see you next time.